Yo, what's up, Mohar family? And today's video, I'm going to be giving you a little story that I experienced when working delivery. I want to tell you this story so hopefully you can learn from me and my mistakes. So I've been doing delivery for a little while. I first started doing DoorDash back in like 2021. So there's a thing when people, they work delivery, they have like a tendency to leave their keys in the ignition. And the reason why they do this is because they want to be more efficient on their time. So when you pick up like the delivery, you want to go inside the restaurant really quickly and then come back to your car, and because the key is already in the ignition, you don't have to restart your car again, and it just makes it more like less tedious. No one wants to just restart their car like 300 times when they work delivery. So the whole thing is you just have your key in the ignition, and you only really want to take it out when you're on breaks or something. But this can be very risky because this can make it an easy way for someone to steal your car. For the longest time, I had done this because, I saw my uncle and I saw the way he worked, and he would just get out of his car, pick up the delivery, and go back to his car. And when he would deliver the food, same thing, the car was on. And I didn't realize at that time that he was able to do this because his car was a little bit different. His car was like the one where you push to start the car. It wasn't the one where you insert the key. So I just thought, oh, okay, it's fine. I'll just put my key in the ignition and I'll make it a lot more easy for me. And this was really bad. And the first time I know that this was bad was when I was doing a delivery in DC. I had got the order and I was trying to drop it off, but I couldn't find the exact address for the customer. So I had gotten foot and I left my key in the ignition. Dude, you guys, this was like the craziest thing. I had literally walked like 2 or 3 blocks down the street to find where the customer was at, and I left my key in the ignition. My car was on, and this was like in an area that's not like the safest area. This is like the area where a lot of known crimes are going on, and stealing is one of them. I just it didn't like, I didn't even like second think it. It was just another day of me doing delivery, and God loves me. I'm gonna be honest, God loves me, and He really did protect me a lot of the times that I had the key in the ignition, because it's so easy for someone to just steal my car. So basically what happened is when I walked and I was trying to find the customer, I had delivered the order, and I came back to my car, and when I came back to my car, there was 2 police officers, and they were like, "Hey, is this your vehicle?" I was like, "Yes, this is my vehicle." And they said, and they asked me for my license, and they're trying to get proof and all that. So once I gave them the proof, they gave me a ticket. And I was like, a ticket? A ticket for what? They was like, yes, this is a new thing we're doing because there's a lot of people that leave the key in the ignition. So this is their way to get people to stop doing that, basically. And they gave me a $50 ticket. And ever since that day, I had stopped putting my key in the ignition. I just knew, you know what? Right when I would deliver the order, I made sure to take out the key. Right when I went to deliver the order to the customer, I'd take the key out of the ignition. I knew if I didn't do it, something would hit me, and it would really affect me in the long run, and my car would be stolen. And at the time, I was young, and I'm still young, but it's not like I financially can just go buy another car. A lot of people can't just do that, especially the job that I'm working. It's not like I'm able to financially just buy another car so easily. And I said, you know what, 100% I'm gonna not do that. And everything was okay, and it was only to a certain point, it was like a year and a half later, that's when I stopped doing DoorDash and I was doing Uber Eats. It's a very similar job. It's just you pick up the food, you deliver it. Sometimes they give you shop and pay orders, all that fun stuff. It was like a Tuesday afternoon, and I wanted to do delivery. I was like, hey, let me get out there. And I live in the VA area, Virginia, and I was working in the Alexandria area, and there's this restaurant called Makadia Ethiopian restaurant. I never thought that Alexandria was such a dangerous area. I just thought, it was DC. DC was the area that if I go to, I have to be extra careful. So I was more flexible. In certain areas, I'm not as cautious as if I was to work in some area like DC. So when I was in Alexandria and I went to go pick up this order from Makadia Ethiopian restaurant, I parked, and I was parked right in front of the restaurant, and I went inside, and it happened so quick, guys. It was like a movie or something. What happened it was so quick. And when I entered the restaurant, I went to pick up the order. They told me it's gonna take like 2 to 5 minutes. So I was like, okay. So I wanted to check back on my car just so I could, it's crazy, right? Because I had left my key in the ignition. And you know why? I know I just said I always take out my key, but the thing is, I wasn't in DC. I was in Alexandria, and I figured, it would be very quick. So I didn't really think about it. I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll just leave the key real quick, and I'll come back and I'll get the order, and I'll be able to leave that area really quick so I can get to the customer more quick. It was all just about being quick. When I do my deliveries, I come to check back on my car, and my car wasn't there. And I was like, oh my gosh, where's my car? I didn't know what to say. I was so surprised. I was like, oh no. And it hit me. It was because my keys were in the ignition. So I went back in the restaurant and I was like, hey, my car was out there. I'm not sure what happened. Do you know like what's going on? And they said, that people in that area, they steal. So it happened a lot, not just, to me. And I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. I called my mom, I called my sisters, and I had to call the police. So, they had cameras at that restaurant, and when we checked the cameras, we saw this young man. He looked young. I think he was wearing like a hoodie, and he did it so quick, guys. Everything it was like he had done this for a very, very long time. He was just waiting for me to get into the restaurant, and right when he got the moment, he went and he took the chance, and he got in my car really quick, and he dipped. He left, and it was all because I had my key in the ignition. So it was really bad, but I filed the police report when the police came, and I gave them all the information. So there was nothing I could do. My mom, she came, she picked me up, and she was really worried. She was like, oh my gosh, this is not good. But I told her, we're just gonna have to wait for the police report. And that's what we did. We waited for the police to do their job. And I don't know if they hired investigators or something to help us out, but it was a long process. It was like a month or 2 months of them just searching for my car. And I never gave hope. My mom told me, hey, I don't think you'll get your car back. Do you want to try to find a new one? I was like, yeah, I'll wait. I'm sure they'll be able to find it, because I had a friend, he had his car stolen in Alexandria, actually, or like the Arlington area in Virginia, and he had his car stolen, and it was 3 weeks later that they were able to get back his car. So that's why I just had a lot of hope. And thankfully, after a month or 2 months later, they called me. They're like, hey, we found your vehicle. What would you like us to do? They gave me 2 options, basically. They said I can pick it up and, have it right away or something. Or they said we can take it to the impound and then we can get the fingerprints. So I was like, okay, do that. Just because the person who stole my car, the way I see it, it seems like they're really good at stealing people's cars, because I don't know how much confidence it takes to do that. It just seems like he was doing it, and it was part of a group of people that were doing it. and his goal was maybe just to steal the car and sell it. It was just a crazy thing to experience. And guys, you're gonna laugh at me. You're really gonna laugh at me. My title, I literally left it in the glove box. It was in the glove box. And you know that's really bad, because if the guy wanted to sell my car, he could sell it because he has the title. You can't sell a vehicle without the title. And I had it in the glove box the whole time, and he didn't know that. But thankfully, when I was able to get my car, I found everything was okay. Some of my cards, like my debit card and my license and my permit and stuff, was gone, but the title was still there, so that made it a lot better. Because, you know, ultimately decided that when I was gonna get my car back, I was just gonna you know, sell it and try to find a new car, because I wanted a fresh start. You know, I had made a very big mistake, and the crazy part is I learned so much about how not to leave the key in the ignition, and yet when I was comfortable in an area that felt like nothing was gonna happen, it happened. And you know, during that time when my car got stolen, we were just waiting. Me and my family, we were just praying that my car, I would get it back. It was so tough, guys. It was really tough, because I couldn't go anywhere. I was just stuck. By the grace of God, I was able to get my car back, and it was only thanks to God, you know. And the reason why I want to tell you guys this story is just that if you ever do like delivery and you want to leave your key in the ignition, just please don't do that, because it's not worth it. It is so easy for your car to be stolen. You have no idea. There are people out there that are just waiting for the moment to steal your car. And I wish that I knew like the intentions of this person, because there was no way of seeing that person on the camera, so we can't see who did it. But I know from one thing that it was a young person who did it, so whoever did it needed the money, or maybe they wanted to joyride. And you know, when we got the car back, it was left in a little bit of damage. There was a damage on the right side of the car, and it was filled with a bad smell. There was like cigarettes. The guy smoked cigarettes in my car, and it was just, he made my car into a garbage. He did. So from that, I just took it like, I'm gonna sell this car. So I cleaned it up, and I have the car still, and I actually bought a new car. I bought a Ford Fiesta car, which is actually the car that I'm driving right now. My mom was able to help me get it. She helped me look around in Facebook Market, and we were able to get this car. So my goals now is just to sell the Toyota. I had the Toyota Camry, and I'm just gonna move on from that, and I hope that I'm not able to do that again. I don't want to do that ever again. And I hope you guys just learn from me to just be careful, be cautious, because there's a lot of evil people in this world. There's a lot of evil people, and stealing, I just don't understand what the good is in stealing. You know, it's like the vulnerability thing, I guess. People feel like they don't have enough, so they need to steal from other people, but stealing is not good. Stealing is just horrible. Nobody should ever steal from anybody.